wanted to go over real quick with everyone something that I mentioned last week in my Thursday. By the way, at 8 p.m. on Thursdays, I do a class or session, whatever you want to call it, on my channel here. And something I mentioned last week was that I wanted to go over like some long-term investment or long-term swing trading methods to really simplify the entire process of where to buy, when to buy. Again, this isn't financial advice. This is just something that I do. And I'm going to show you a PowerPoint that I developed for a previous client. This isn't the finished version. Anyways, I hadn't worked on this since January 10th of this year. And it kind of goes into a little bit of what I'm going to talk about here. So first off, this looking at Bitcoin. So again, like Bitcoin is definitely the single greatest wealth generating opportunity of the last 2 centuries. Until it isn't, or until something else comes around, it is. It's an established new asset class, and there's a lot of other money that is still in it. And there's a lot of professional money still not in it. There's trillions that are not in it yet. But Bitcoin has a ton of reversals, and this is a very volatile market. For any of you watching this, you're probably aware of that. But Bitcoin has lost, over 70% of its value 7 times in the last decade, and it's lost greater than 80% of its value 4 times over the past 10 years. Now, some of these are fewer or more, depending on when you're measuring them. But just to give you an idea, these are pretty substantial drawdowns and retracements that this asset class experiences. This is a weekly chart from July 10th through December of 2020, measuring a lot of these major drops that have occurred. This is a logarithmic view of the chart, not a linear chart. So you can see that there's some pretty substantial moves that occur and cause some pretty huge wipes of its prior from its prior all-time highs. Its average retracements, though, are between 40 and 50%, which are huge. If that was Apple, people would not invest in it. If it was Microsoft, people would not invest in it. You have to have a pretty strong stomach or a really high risk tolerance, because man, it's pretty wicked. This is from July 2010 to December 2016. If you're looking back then, that's what this looks like. A lot of these minor retracements within an uptrend, you'll see January 2015 through December of 2020. Again, when you see things in a bull market, there are retracement periods that occur, and they often exceed 30-40%. So this, dollar cost averaging is effective in any type of investment instrument. It's been shown to be the best way to do things. But for cryptocurrencies, especially, and this may not be the case in the future, but for right now, this whole buy and hold thing seems to be very inefficient. More inefficient. Sorry, I got my shoes falling off my feet there. It's a little inefficient when you compare it to a little bit more active management. And I imagine people watching this channel and who go on YouTube, they have a little bit more. Actually, if you just participate in cryptocurrencies, you probably have a little bit more active participation in your finances than most people. But the traditional buy and hold works, but it's just not that efficient. A more active role helps create better returns. Again, this is not financial advice. This is just something I'm saying. And it does require some active management. For some people, the things I'm going to suggest is a ton of work. For some, it's not that big a deal. Honestly, I don't think it's that big a deal. It really just involves checking and adjusting some pending orders once a week, once every 2 weeks. And so here's the thing that I call it the 30-40-60. Okay. On Sunday, it's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look back and find where the highest high of the past 10 weeks is. Okay. Whatever that high is, place limit buy orders at 30, 40, and 60% below that level. And then repeat this every week. you could set an alert letting you know if a high has been broken or not, but do that every week. And, that's for some pretty normal swing trading or active reinvesting. Like if this was the last 10 weeks in December, or this was in December going back 10 weeks, and when Bitcoin is trading at, you remember when Bitcoin is trading that? Didn't that seem like a really high price back then? $19,911. And so what you would do is you just take a price measure tool in TradingView. I use Optima most of the time, but draw down to 30%, 40%, and 60%, and place those limit buy orders. And then they just sit there. Limit buy order means it's just going to sit there. Limit buy order says, I'm willing to buy this, but only at this level or cheaper. I'm not going to pay any more than this price for it. That's what a buy limit order says. A buy limit or limit buy, whatever you want to call it. That's what that says. All right. Now we're looking at Ethereum. Ethereum's the same way. Whatever the major retracements are for Bitcoin, you can assume that they are going to be the same and greater for the altcoin markets. Now, if I'm looking at Ethereum, and if I can figure out where the heck that went, well, maybe it's not there. Hold on. I know they're not there because I hit all of it. So I'm just going to show you some of the price retracements that I've done for Ethereum. These are from some major minor retracements from highs, major minor highs. 52, 67, 68, 49. From the 2018 high down to that March 30 low in April in 2018. That was a 94% wipe in value. Otherwise, there was a 74% before that, 51, 45, 60. I mean, these are pretty massive drawdowns. And, in a bull market, you can see that 30, 20% kind of thing exists. That's essentially what I'm talking about. If you don't like to measure, here's a nice little, for those of you who are probably want to be more active, maybe not holding forever in a day, but you don't want to be trading either. You want to swing trade. Use the Ichimoku system, but do this, okay? Turn on the Ichimoku system if you're using TradingView or whatever. However, you can change it. Get rid of everything except the Kijun Center. In TradingView, it's called the baseline. Okay? Get rid of everything except the baseline. I'm going to make the Kijun Center / baseline a little bit thicker. All right. Now, you'll observe now that within the Ichimoku system, the Kijun Center represents equilibrium. It's the place where price is often called back to. And there's just a visual way to do this. It's not scientific. It's not even really art. It's just, if you look at a chart like Ethereum and you notice that the close or something is a huge distance away from the Kijun Sen, those are probably good buying opportunities. And I'm talking about only the long side of the market here. So if you see these pretty dramatic moves away from the Kijun Sen, make note of those, because if the move down here is, greater than 30 or 40% from a prior swing high, that might be a good opportunity to get into a trade, or to add to a long position, because ultimately, dollar cost averaging, it just reduces the your cost basis over time. But so does this. And so let's say you're always adding $100, $500, $1,000 into your crypto portfolio every month. I've learned, for me at least, that waiting for these dips to occur, it has been a lot more profitable than just buying and holding. Timing is, and by the way, you're not going to get the best entry all the time. Rarely are you going to get the best entry. If you're doing the 30, 40, 60, your 30% entry is probably gonna get ran over, and it's gonna go down like 30 more, 40 more percent, which is normal. But at least you didn't buy at the top. Okay, you know, if you're somebody who's doing this method, and you were buying Ethereum back in May, and you bought it at 3,400, would you rather be the guy who bought it at 3,400, or would you rather be the guy that waited for, a 30% discount and bought it at like 3,000, or 40% discount or 50% discount and even lower, or that 60% level? So that's whoop, to hit my mic. That's just what I would do, and it's very simple. It's nothing advanced. It's and again, it's not very active either. Well, some people might think it's active, but it's just placing these pending orders. Check out the last high of the last 10 weeks and place buy limit orders at 30, 40, and 60% below that high, and just repeat that and see what happens. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.